The review came 100 days after the WHO was first alerted to the virus, the organisation marking the occasion by looking back at everything it's done. On New Year's Eve, a report from China about a cluster of pneumonia cases in the city of Wuhan. The next day, the WHO activated a crisis group. Over the next 2 weeks, the organisation would publish an update for scientists and public health experts, issue guidance to countries and notably receive the first genetic sequence of the virus from China. In mid-January, it announced that human-to-human transmission was possible.
We are still in the very early days of this, and so there are investigations that are evaluating how individuals were infected. Because it's a respiratory pathogen, we wouldn't be surprised if there was some limited human-to-human transmission, especially among families who have close contact with one another.
A week later, WHO experts visited Wuhan. They reported evidence of human-to-human transmission. And on January 30, the WHO declared a public health emergency of international concern. This all before the disease even got its name. Over the course of February, cases climbed in Italy, home to the world's second oldest population. WHO experts travelled again to Wuhan, then, along with the European Centre for Disease Control and Prevention, paid a visit to Italy on February 24th. At the time, the country had reported a surge in cases, with a total of around 400. Around 2 weeks later, on March 11th, the WHO formally declared the outbreak a pandemic.
This is the first pandemic caused by a coronavirus. And we have never before seen a pandemic that can be controlled at the same time. In the days and weeks ahead, we expect to see the number of cases, the number of deaths, and the number of affected countries climb even higher.
That announcement was over a month ago, when more than 90% of all cases were in just 4 countries. But this past week, the White House has been on the offensive, saying the WHO hasn't been doing enough. President Donald Trump making veiled threats over withdrawing funding to the organisation.
And it's much more than the $58 million is a small portion of what they've gotten over the years, and sometimes even in the 500s of millions of dollars. And China would do proportionally just a small fraction of that number. And I think they have to get their priorities right.
The World Health Organization has called for an end to the blame game.
The focus of all political parties should be to save their people. Please don't politicize this virus.
But the White House has warned there will be funding changes.
We're going to have an announcement on the World Health Organization sometime next week. As you know, we give them approximately $500 million a year, and we're going to be talking about that subject next week. We'll have a lot to say about it.
A threat as the global infection tally and death toll continue to surge. Nicole Ng, CGTN.